Create, innovate, motivate, create.
Drop.
Yeah.
Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boy Trez.
What's up, it's Hayden.
Dev.
And we are the Assembly Podcast. Welcome. It feels
Welcome.
good. This is going to be our first episode.
Yeah.
So we're ready to share our experiences and our thoughts, laughter, everything with y'all. The first episode, we talked about Jay-Z being the first billionaire in hip-hop.
Yeah, man. And from there, we kind of went into talking about success overall and what that means, and even inspiring others to build wealth for themselves and find their own success and meet their own goals, even beyond money.
Yeah.
So we covered a lot. Hope you guys dig it.
Enjoy. Oh, is this recording?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. What up, y'all? Jay-Z was already technically a billionaire because he's married. And when you're married, the net, is whatever.
What was the famous line?
But the thing about it is
What's better than one billionaire? Two.
you can have $1 billion and still not have a net worth of $1 billion.
Correct.
His net worth is actually $1 billion. I'm sure he's had $1 billion for a while.
Correct.
But his actual net worth is by himself $1 billion.
That's fire.
And it was always like, who's gonna do it first, him or Puff? Because Puff had been the richest person in hip hop for a very long time.
Yeah.
And after a while, him and Jay-Z just kind of were like, we're gonna do this together. It's like they will alternate years. It's like, okay, I'm gonna be at the top this year, you're at the top next year, and it's like this back and forth. And Jay-Z was just like, I guess he just like, yo, I got some things coming.
Yeah.
I can't.
So was there something, because I didn't read the article or anything, like, was there something that just did it, or it just been over time, he just actually did it, or was something like a deal closed that made it happen, or?
There was no cherry on top moment,
Okay.
or a straw that broke the camel's back, or whatever metaphor, or whatever you want to say, right? But I got on Twitter today and he was the number one trending topic, and I was confused. First it was Beyonce's voice as Nala was the first thing I saw, and right under that was Jay-Z's a billionaire, and I was just like,
That's fire.
what kind of power is this?
That's fire. That's fire.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's great to see we have our first hip hop billionaire.
Yeah.
That's
officially.
fire. That's fire.
That is
bro.
super fire. Yeah, man, congrats.
I feel like-
Congrats to Jay-Z.
Congrats,
That's,
shout out.
That's super
That's
dope.
big. That's super big.
Yeah.
It is.
Pause. That's great.
But no, I mean, because there was that period, because remember when back in the day, whenever Dr. Dre, they
Apple-
there was that, they were
Apple,
like,
yeah.
but it wasn't
Nah, but that
Official.
was big,
Mhm.
but they
that. Well, he got close.
right.
He got close, but it wasn't but it wasn't it.
And it was a head to a head, and I think was the numbers off or something? Were they right with the numbers? When they announced,
They
because
inflated
it
the
came
numbers.
out, it came out wrong or something. I thought.
Yeah, well, I know that because I think when it first happened, it was Tyrese was on Instagram Live, and he was with Dre. There's first hip hop
was
billionaire, and they were just
Billionaire Boys Club for real, homie. Huh? Fix your face. Fix your face. Know that. Oh, shit. The Forbes list just changed. It came out 2 weeks ago. They need to update the Forbes list. Shit just changed. In a big way. Oh, my. Understand that. Oh, my. First billionaire in hip hop, right here from the motherfucking West Coast. Believe me. Oh, shit.
first hip
He
hop
was
billionaire, and they were just
He's
they were
drunk and
gone.
drinking,
And
celebrating.
of course,
Oh my God.
that actually caused some problems.
Yes, because they were supposed to be
because they were
confidentiality
no.
thing, and I think, and they wasn't supposed.
Yeah, and then of course all the news places got all of that, Dr. Dre. It's
it was everywhere.
yeah, but no, this is official. Jay-Z's hip hop's first billionaire.
Yeah. So hold on. I can pull up the breakdown. It might take me a second or two. But I think it's worth talking about because we talked about being an icon, a legend, all these kind of things. And we had mentioned, to solidify yourself in that conversation, you kind of have to do things that are outside of music.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's been doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that's exactly what he's been doing and has done. So as you know, he owns Armand de Brogniart,
Right.
Hmm.
which is champagne.
Yep.
He owns real estate. He owns art. Okay, here we go. I found it. Armand de Brogniart. It's worth $310 million. Okay. Cash and investments. So this is from Forbes. A vast investing portfolio includes a stake in Uber worth an estimated $70 million. He reportedly purchased his piece for $2 million back in 2013, and then wired founder Travis Kalanick another $5 million in an attempt to increase his holdings, but was rebuffed. So either way, his money more than doubled. It did crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So then you also know he has Duce.
Yep.
That's worth $100 million in itself. Okay. Which is a joint venture with Bacardi. Tidal is worth $100 million.
Really?
Actually, I think it's worth more than that, but his piece is worth,
Well then, yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people that got a stake in that, right? A lot of
Yeah,
artists,
he had sold a large portion of it to Sprint.
Oh,
When he
that's
first
right.
did
Whenever
that-
they did
that
that
album.
deal
Yeah,
back in the day.
and
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
why, you know, a lot of Sprint users will get Tidal for free for like months.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
As we all know, Rock Nation, that's worth
Yep.
$75 million. His music catalog is $75 million. His art collection is $70 million.
Oof,
Real estate, $50 million.
that's a
big
lot of money.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's what I'm trying to be on. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't know what to do with that money. Like,
I would have some ideas.
you know, like
let me
after
see.
after I pay off my student loans, I'm gonna feel
Yeah.
like I am
So with
a
the
hip hop
$5
billionaire,
left, like-
and I'm not gonna know what to do with my life. It's just like nothing matters. I paid off my loans. The shackles are off. Like now what?
Take away like the 5 zeros and then like put like my shit. And that's why my numbers look like my car, like my fucking house, like you know, $750, 7,000. It's like, so I got a long way to go, but I'm gonna get there. You know, what I mean, you gotta start somewhere.
Yeah.
But it's a big thing for hip hop, man. Like that's huge for hip hop. And like I feel like Diddy's gonna be right behind him, and
For
you know,
sure.
he's gonna probably do because like I like the fact that they kind of have like this kind of like good rivalry, and
Yeah.
like and
That's
black
exactly what they
excellence. You know what I
have.
mean?
That's
So
exactly
it's
what they
like
have.
he's probably gonna try to do something where he makes like 2 and like be like, look, you know, in like 5 years, I don't know, whenever he can do that, but like he's probably right behind him, and so
Yeah.
those two guys we look at and we're like. That's what we strive to be. We strive to, you know, go through life and grow and mature because you can look back and see how they used to be and like where they are now, and you can see like growth in hip hop.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
It's just it's crazy to see because Jay-Z is who he is. We won't take away from his smarts and his ability.
Mhm.
But in the beginning, Dame was the businessman.
Correct.
It was Dame.
Right.
You know. Jay, he did bring money to the table with his short stint with the drugs and all that kind of stuff,
Right.
which he talks about freely.
Yep.
But Dame was the businessman. And
Yeah.
we are like, all hail Jay-Z. And we look at Dame as like, oh, wow, you bitter old man. You go sit in the corner. You know, and it's kind of sad. Like, we kind of just
Yeah.
need to show love to Dame for this happening.
It's
too.
and this stuff is starting to kind of come up. I see where Dame is getting a little bit more shine and respect. And he's like
I
basically
think
showing
so.
himself like, look, y'all, nothing's wrong with me right now. I'm straight. Like, and like he, you know, from like even when you go back, some people can say whatever they want to say about the interview, the what's the show? What's the radio?
Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club
Yeah.
interview. But we still got a piece of that mind, like that mentality that he has that never went away. And it's just like we like shunned him for whatever reason. I mean, Jay-Z. But I mean, he's somebody in hip hop that I think that we should, like you said, start back showing respect to and like uplift him because I feel like he's a mind that we need, you know, outside of just music, but movies, entertainment, like shedding light on black excellence as well.
Yeah.
So
Like, there were a lot of business minds around them at that time, from Dame
Yeah.
to Irv, and you know, just that whole
Yeah.
collective that was around. I don't know, and I'm sure I've heard stories and read interviews on, how he transitioned into that businessman, but I don't know off rip like what that turning point would have been.
Right.
I don't know if there was like a really specific like turning point. At least to me, I guess just kind of from the outside, from what we could see, to me it seemed kind of like a gradual process because when Jay-Z moved into that position at Def Jam, something like that, it didn't seem like, oh, that's weird. You know what I'm saying? It didn't seem like a real like what that like, but no, we're just like, oh, all right,
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, to me, I think it's something that, and especially, somebody who's come up the way that Jay-Z has, even with Dame being the business mind, I mean, there's a sense of entrepreneurship, there's a sense of hustle, there's a sense of that, being a businessman. You know what I'm saying? Even with Dame taking that helm in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? I think what Jay-Z did is I think he learned. I think he, being surrounded by all of those, business
kind of
minds,
like a sponge.
Yeah.
To it,
Yeah. That's what I think what happened. I think
that's smart. You know what I'm saying? It's just like everybody's got to learn somehow from someone.
The
from
whole
somewhere.
saying of like, be around people that are like better than you.
Yeah.
And smarter than you and all of that, like more money than you, whatever, being around that motivates you to say, well, dang, like, let me get my stuff together. And I think that was like him, like just being around the right people and it rubbed off on you. Just like negativity rubs off, same thing with positivity.
Exactly. And I mean, because there's a saying, I think it's, you're the sum of the 5 people you spend time with most or something like that.
Yep.
And that's really true. I mean, I think we're all our own individual people, but still it's like that has a big effect on you. And surrounding yourself and the messages that you surround yourself with. And that's why I really like, my podcasts, various like YouTube channels, other things like that like provide that motivation, that inspiration and stuff like that. Because it's like when I surround myself and when I feed that, into my mind, like that's what will come out of me. You know what I'm saying? It's just like that affects me. Like, and then on the flip side, it's like if you're around negative people, if you're around people who are, not pushing themselves, not pushing you, not, challenging themselves to be better and reach for greater things. And it's like, you're not going to want to, you know what I'm saying? Cause it's like, you're going to be like, well, all these other people aren't. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, not even like consciously, it's like a subconscious kind of thing. Cause I used to surround myself, with different people and I was in the like passenger seat, like of my own life. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like,
interesting.
Like, but for me, it's like when I finally am just like, man, what am I doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I kind of got to.
What am I doing? This is fucking bad.
Oh my God.
It comes to a point where you really have to just remind yourself you have to control the plan.
Yeah.
And you, first of all, you have to have a plan.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you have to have every single step outlined and that every one of those steps are going to follow through. But, have something, and money can't be the only motivation.
No.
You know what I mean?
It shouldn't.
And for people like that, growing up in the city and stuff like that, you want to better your situation. That's beyond the money. Yes, the money can help you to do that, but it's about bettering the overall situation. And, a lot of people lean to music and all that good stuff, yada, yada, whatever. But money, it literally can't be the only motivation because you'll find yourself doing things that I can't say should not do, but probably should not do.
Real life.
No, that's true. That's true.
Like, you should be like, it should be on about like your fundamentals, like your foundation, like your principles. What do you stand for? Like your morals, like start your foundation first and then build your principles, and then like, as the money comes, you won't change. That's how you end up.
Yeah.
And it's not even that money changes you. Money just shows who the real you are. Because now you have money to do the things that you weren't able to do. So now, okay, before you wouldn't be an asshole because you didn't. People could talk about you because you was broke. But now you got money. Now you're an asshole. It's like you really were an asshole. You just couldn't show your true colors.
Yeah.
So money just shows who you really are. Money doesn't change people to me.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel like whatever the spark that's there, money just puts fuel on that. So whatever is there is just going to get bigger and more exaggerated. And I think that maybe, certain, ambitions or goals or desires and things that maybe tied around money that can, influence somebody. And when they start to reach those certain things, they start to, act a little different. I can see that. But as far as like money, I mean, look, we make money, we spend money. You know what I'm saying? Like there's not any money that I've made from like years ago that's just been kept forever. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
like almost every cent.
Right.
I mean, not saying that it's like, don't like put money in savings and shit. Like don't do that.
No, seriously, like
Burn
that's
your
good,
money.
like,
Yeah,
man.
no. But at the end of the day, it's like, so kind of early 2010s, kind of in my career, I was kind of in a place where I was doing pretty much anything for whatever money, you know what I'm saying? I was just kind of like, all right, sure. Like I'll work on this project. It'll pay me this much. Sure. I'll work on this project. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, even if it was a terrible idea, even if I don't want to do it.
True.
And then I would, that money would go towards my bills for that month and it's gone, and then what was I left with after that? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, not something I was proud of, not something I enjoy working on, not something that was making, building any sort of long-term value for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, so yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things you can do for money, but it's that, what are your long-term goals? What do you want your life to look like outside of that? You know what I'm saying? Like for me, I have in my mind, my long-term goals, wherever, once I finally get to this specific point, I'm like, cool, like I've made it. I've reached like all my goals. I have a very, very, very specific mental picture of where I'm at, what I'm doing.
Yeah, same.
Who, like, it's literally, no, it's like a literal, it's like it's almost like a tiny little like movie clip thing that I just play in my head. And that's it. That's it right there. And so it's like, there's a lot more with that. And so every time that I think about that, every move that I make and everything that I do and action that I take is moving towards that goal.
I feel the same way. And I'm just gonna tell you what mine looks like.
Yeah.
Right. It is like this loft condo, whatever you want to call it, penthouse with finished concrete floors.
Yeah.
And I have nothing but white linen that I wear all day, every day.
So you did
with smooth sounds playing.
He's did
You know what I mean? And I got a Jeep outside somewhere parked. Like, and it sounds like I just want things, but it's peace. Like I can visualize peace.
Yeah. You got what you want to chill.
You know, it's just this wide space, this free feeling comfort that I have to have in my life. And I've tried to create that place. I am creating that place in my head and in my life now before I have it. Because church boy, you got to see it before you see it or you never will see it. You know what I mean? So like don't wait. Like these goals and dreams and stuff like that, they seem big. They should be big.
Yeah.
But start somewhere. Use what you have. Use what you have has helped me and getting to the point where I'm at in my life as far as my career.
Yeah.
Because waiting on everything to be perfect, it just won't happen.
No.
Yeah. We have these hang-ups that we have, like it has to be this before I do this, or it has to be this before I do that. And it's just like, wow, you'll never move forward if you just keep making reasons to wait.
Yeah. Yep. And that's the thing. It's like, for me, I break it down. Like I have that's my long-term goal. And then I'm like, all right, cool. In like 5 years, what's this going to look like? In 3 years, in 1 year, in a month, like this week. And I literally break it down weekly. Like I have benchmarks, like I have certain things that I want to hit. And I just focus on taking that next step because since now I've kind of like reverse engineered it almost. It's like, I don't really got to worry about this like big lofty thing. I've just got to worry about taking that next step. Yeah. Because it's really about like, you know, you can just focus on what's the next action step I can take. And then if
Yeah.
you just focus on that and just keep on doing that, it's like putting one foot in front of the other. It's like if you just
Literally, yeah.
every step, it's like you'll get there. It might take time.
And like the thing is, like, I'm the type of person, like, I can't make a 5-year plan. Like, of course, like, I'll set realistic goals for myself. It's like, okay, this has to happen. Like, this bill needs to be paid off by this time, you know, budgeting right now so that can happen. Just like close things I can meet.
Yeah.
And setting realistic goals. But I feel like I can't cap myself if I can't allow myself to cap myself by making a 5-year plan. Like, in 5 years, it's just going to be this. Like you said,
that's not what I would consider a 5-year plan.
No, I know, but what you did say was, you know, you never know what's going to happen, and that's kind of just what I'm enforcing. Like, you don't know what's going to happen. So, like, for me, in a 5-year plan, like, I can come up with this 5-year plan, but I'm hoping to really exceed that. Who knows what will happen?
Right.
You know, and you'll just never know until you.
And that's why you set.
try.
And that's why you set it like a little goal, because it's like, you know, it's like, cool. Well, just like at my job, like, cool. I can sell, when I used to sell, it was like I can sell 5 TV. That's my goal. But I'm always trying to get double that. So I'm always trying to get 10, right? But hey, that's some months I get 15. I did 17. But the fact that I knew my goal and I knew I wanted to do exceedingly and abundantly above that. Caught that one, did you? But since I knew that I wanted to do more than that, like, I literally did. And I literally went to work every day and said, I'm going to do this. Yeah. And like, that's what you got to do. You said it earlier, like, you you have to speak it. Like, if you literally wake up every day and say, I'm going to be great. Like, I wake up, I want to tell my son, you're going to be great. Brother, you're going to be great. You're going to be.
That's important.
When you do that, that's feeding that positivity into it, and that's speaking that into existence. So that's what I do for myself in music, in my relationships, and my family. Like, that's what I do. My friendships, I literally tell myself, I'm going to be a good friend. I'm going to be a good father. I'm going to be there. I tell myself this stuff every day, and I pray these things. So when you do that, like, it's bound to happen.
I want to touch on something you mentioned. You mentioned your son.
Mm-hmm.
You talking about daily affirmations and saying you're going to be great and whatnot, and doing that for yourself so that you can be successful in what you're doing. But you're passing that to your kid. You're encouraging your kid, and eventually your kid will be encouraging himself.
Yeah.
You are raising a young man, and I'm trying to tie this back to Jay-Z because he has a son.
Yeah.
You know, and we're seeing people like Jay-Z, Will Smith, you know, these big
Khaled,
but, you know, these big people in entertainment, these black men, these minorities who are setting up their kids to be okay in the future in ways that we probably were not. And I'll speak for myself.
Yeah.
My parents had me very young. My mother had me on her 19th birthday, and my dad was 21 years old. He was in school. My mother was in love. Yeah. Right? You know what I mean? And we was in the hood. So it's just like, there wasn't much saving that went into that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it could be attributed to just many things. But we're seeing a new sense of, I'm trying to figure out the right words. We have like these role models in front of us setting the blueprint for what we need to be doing in our lives and for our families.
Never seen it before.
You know, and it's making it make sense. We used to see the Cosbys, and that looked great, but how many black people did you really know with a lawyer and a doctor, you know, in the family? Like, that just seems so far-fetched. But now we're seeing somebody who was raised out of the projects, worked his way up, had some missteps along the way, turned that around to help push the ultimate goal, and is now raising a family and setting his kids up so that they don't have to do the same thing. You know, just breaking those generational curses.
Yeah, man.
It's really bigger than the music, you know?
Way bigger.
What this music does, it's taking people out of these terrible situations, you know, for the artist. And then the artist is giving back to these people who are receiving it, you know, and it's extremely encouraging. And we bash people for getting so invested in artists' lives and not just paying attention to the music. But in this case, this is a great way to be inspired by somebody's life and be invested.
Yeah.
Because we need to be taking those lessons.
And what you said kind of made me realize, because someone told me this, and I kind of knew what they said, but it took me a while to get it. But what you said made me think about it again is like why it's big in music, and what you said too is like, because there's a difference between like your talent and your gift, and then there's a difference between like that and like your actual like calling and purpose.
Yeah.
So like you're talented, you sing, but your gift is through singing you reach people and make them want to change or make them think about certain things. But then your purpose is to do A, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? And I think that Jay-Z is literally showing us the blueprint of that. You know what I mean? And that's what I like. And that's why blueprint, no pun.
Sorry.
But that's what I like, man. That's what I like to see. And that's why I'm glad we are starting to see and like positive, like you said, minorities, blacks, role models that we can look at, men that we can look at and say, okay,
Seriously.
I can make it no matter what my situation is right now. Like I can get to that point, even if it's not $1 billion, but it's like I make it out the hood, I go to college, I graduate, and I take care of my family. That's your Jay-Z blueprint, whether you believe it or not. You know what I mean? It's not about the money or it's about how big your reach is. You can literally do that in your community, in your family, in your life.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like success isn't like one thing to everyone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like success looks different for everybody.
Yep,
you know what I'm saying? Like what may be successful for one person, like even, and that's the thing, like taking it beyond money, you know what I'm saying? Cause it's just like, I think, you know, being a billionaire, having that mark of money, but it's like before he got that, I mean, Jay-Z, I think he's reached that level of success.
Right.
I mean, so many times. And I mean, and again, but that's the thing, like his definition of success, I mean, I'm sure he's reaching it. You know what I'm saying? But like, again, that might like honestly, somebody may not want to be like, you know what? I don't need to be a billionaire. You know what? Just again, if I got enough to live comfortably and good, like cool, like that is success to me.
So question for you guys. None of us are rich. At least not yet. At least, okay. None of us have that amount of money. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Do you think that this was like his ultimate goal? Do you think that there's something else specifically that he wants to achieve and accomplish? And if so, what is that thing? Like, I can't think of what else you could possibly need to do. Like you've done film, you've done television.
Yeah.
You have the girl, you have the family, you have the houses, the cars, the cash, you have the jewelry, you have the records, you have the awards.
Yeah.
Literally, like, what else could you want?
I could see him focusing on giving back. I see him
for
already
sure,
doing
he's
that.
already,
I can see him really
doing
like
that a little bit more,
making even more efforts and more strides to make, I think, a bigger impact for just, I think, people that
will like him.
Yeah. That I think, could use help in some way. I mean, like he's already like done some really great things as far as like, I don't know, like who is it that called him like hip hop's like Jay-Z, like Rock Nation is like hip hop's HR? Like who said that?
Yeah,
Somebody said that.
I don't remember who said specifically, but it's literally like calling Olivia Pope or something, like I don't understand, but he's been that guy. He's literally been Big Brother these days. You know?
I don't know. To me, it's like I feel like Jay-Z's starting to move into this place where he's, I think, trying to focus more on the impact that he can create, not just like he himself, but like how he can give back and how he can help. I mean, really, I don't know how to say it, but make the world a better place. Like, really. Yeah. Because I see him doing that,
and
which
like
is really dope.
Having more like proteges and stuff like that. Like, we haven't really seen like a Jay-Z protege.
That's how you really get back to like making proteges.
Like we've seen like how he interacts with Meek. And, we've seen changes in Meek and whatnot. And
I love that, by the way.
You know what I mean? I wonder if there'll be somebody else, you know.
So
It's really inspiring.
question then.
Yeah.
This is more maybe hypothetical or just looking into the future, but like of like our age group, or who do y'all see like that can potentially take that role on down the line? And it's hard, but like who do we see that we can just be like, I can see
Like-
this person maybe doing it?
Our
J.
generation?
Cole?
Yeah, I literally was
Cole?
about to say Cole.
J. Cole. And I mean, he's coming from under Jay-Z a little bit too.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
yeah.
right.
more than me.
He's right under
You
the
know,
umbrella.
I
Yeah.
mean, now he's not half as flashy as Jay
No.
is. I don't know about Cole making investments in properties and in art and
Right.
all that kind. I don't know about that.
Right.
Yeah.
But as far as with people, I feel like he's consistently going to be that guy that people
Yeah.
come to talk and chat.
Yeah. I mean, that's literally exactly who I was gonna say.
Me too.
Yeah. I mean, as far as right now, I mean, there's
Go ahead and
I
say
don't
it.
know, like maybe Kendrick,
I knew
but
it's always
but-
Kendrick and Cole.
yeah, but
I don't see it.
I don't see that in that same way. I think
Yeah.
Kendrick is just more focused on just being an artist.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
think
But what about when he stops?
We'll see.
yeah.
But right now we can
But
see
I see it
Cole
in J.
mingling
Cole.
with
yeah.
other people. I'm just thinking about Jay-Z and who he was to where he is now. Like
Mm.
Bad Bobby.
there was a look that came with that. There was
I
a
know.
lux, with him and his boats and chains and all that kind of stuff, and just like made it look good, and like you wanted to get to know this man and figure
Yeah.
out what was going on and
Yeah.
be in his circle and his clique. The only person like that that's younger is Drake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drake has
know?
the impact to do it. I just don't know
He
if
does.
I don't know if he I don't know. Maybe he does want to, because watching the video of him when he did the what's the God's Plan video.
Yeah.
Watching stuff like that, if that's
There's
all
been
him,
a recent I feel like there's been a
little
little
turn.
bit of a recent like, hey,
shift, like
I've kind of reached this level. Like there's been a recent shift of like, okay, I think Drake, really realizing this sense of
He can do it.
responsibility.
Yeah,
He could
and
actually
it
do it
seemed like the
easily.
tensions that he
Yeah.
had with Jay and the tensions he had with Diddy both fell off at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really feel like he has a plan to just continue to, well, of course he wants to continue to grow, but just like solidify himself as that
he can
guy
do it
in several
easily.
areas.
He can do it
Yeah.
easily if he wants to. If he
Yeah.
makes that conscious decision to say, I want to do this, if he might have already, but if he does that, then he can literally do it before Cole does, actually.
I agree.
Well, for sure. I mean,
Right.
he's already in a better position.
To do it, yeah.
Just
Yes.
like, I mean, money wise, reach wise, impact. I mean, yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, that's something that I'm gonna be interested to see how things go with Drake in that regards for sure too.
Yeah.
But no, I think trying to think of anyone else really, like our generation, like this generation that at this point that I could realistically see. Like, I don't know. I think it's tough because it's like I mean,
Because it
I
can
don't wanna
change. It can happen, not overnight, but it can happen.
Yeah.
Like somebody can come into our lives and take us by storm and be that person from the jump. You know what I mean? But I don't think we have that person.
but that's tough though. I mean, because like
It's tough.
the thing that puts, I mean, you know, Diddy, Jay-Z, all, it's like they have such a seasoned career under their belts that we've seen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's
But think
like
about-
it's hard to somebody to like come out. Like, how do you come out?
It's
the
hard
gates
to do
like
that, but that's why that never really happens, because when that person does that, we automatically notice that they're different. Like
Yeah.
like a Tupac.
I mean,
like he wasn't here long enough, but the impact he made. So imagine if he
Yeah.
had 5 more years or something like that. Like, so
Yeah.
somebody that could just come in and we knew something about this guy. You know what I mean? We might not think of him as a Jay-Z in 3-5 years, but we're like,
yeah, it's just hard
it's
for me to
something
like.
about this guy.
Yeah, I don't know. That's hard to.
We don't see it. That's why it's hard, because we don't
Okay.
see it happen
Yeah.
often. Like I said, I think I see that, and he didn't really get to like the real estate and like really showing us how to like on that mature level, but he also was really young. But I see like that. What I'm talking about is like Tupac. So like seeing like
Okay.
somebody come in to have an impact with the people like Cole does, but doing it so because they're organically being themselves and they do it like it just happens quickly.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen like that. But if we do see that, we'll notice it quickly.
So is there somebody that has come along like that already?
No. That's
So
why
that's
we.
what you're
That's why we
saying?
never say there's never been another. That people always comparing people to Tupac. They compared Nipsey to him. They compare people to because it's the impact. But it's like we never have seen that level from anybody else.
Yeah.
We haven't.
Yeah, man. That's another thing.
It's just hard. It's hard to do
Nipsey
that.
could, I think, was going to be on track.
Was going to be that person.
He was.
And look how long it took him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like that's what I'm saying.
That's
it's
what I'm
like,
saying. We never seen
it takes time. Like somebody, you can't. I think intrinsically you can't just come out the gate like that. You just can't.
But
Yeah,
then,
I agree. And
I know what you're about to say.
Seriously, because I literally, I can't say I never listened to Nip, but if I saw Nip come on, I was skipping it because I did not want to hear
right.
it. And
Wow.
I'm not saying that to be disrespectful at all.
Right.
You know,
You being real.
Because then after he passed, I listened to the last album. And I'm just like, wow, this whole thing is good.
Yeah.
You know what
I
I
was
mean?
bumping it
But-
before
but-
he died.
yeah.
So
But
I'm-
before this last album, when I listen to other stuff, it's not necessarily my cup of tea.
before that it was
You know, so the thing is, I don't know if,
cool.
you know, if he would have maximized his audience musically. I don't know that.
But he was doing it
I don't
outside
know.
of the music, and I think that's what helped him with it because he
Yeah.
was starting to do
Yeah.
things like I think about the DJ Khaled thing. That song was done like obviously before anything we
He
knew anything
passed.
would
I
happen,
adore that
and
song,
that was
by
gonna
the way.
be
That's an
that was
amazing
gonna
song.
still be the
That song.
single
So
though.
good.
Man.
Yeah.
So like I think he was putting himself in position because this technically was his first album.
It
So
was.
like
No, it was.
so like he had a lot of time to kind of grow. So that's his first album, and that's the impact he made on his first album.
And it's
Think
incredible.
about 2 or 3, 4 albums from now where he would have been.
Yeah.
So technically, even though it took him a while to get to that point, your timer really starts like on that first album. Really, that's like you have your whole life to make your first professional debut. Mixtapes, all that stuff is cool, but this is the real deal. You're in, mainstream America now, and I think that he could have been that person for us. And it's hard to tell because he died. So now it's like, you know when you die, everything magnifies. You know what I mean? But based on his presence and based on how everybody feel after he died, I think that he could have been.
I think he was he was setting. You could see that he was laying that groundwork for that to happen.
Right.
I mean, I still like. Again, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I wasn't as familiar with Nipsey's music before Victory Lap. When Victory Lap came out, I was just kind of like, okay, yo, people are talking about this, saying this is really dope. I'm gonna listen to it, and I listened to it, and it was super fire. And I'm like, yo, this album is like, I'm like, to me, it just kind of felt like it came out of
I'd
nowhere.
only heard Mailbox
Because I was
Money
not
before.
expecting like that level of, like, it was great.
Yeah.
And still, even before he passed, I mean, I've said it. I thought it was one of the best albums of 2018
The jump
for sure.
from what I've heard like Mailbox Money, and then I heard that. So the jump from those two even showed me like how his growth. I was like, because if Mailbox
tons
Money
of
was
growth.
cool, there's a couple songs I liked on there that was like dope, but then this was like a whole different level. So I knew, you know what I'm saying? Then when you listen to him and watch his interviews, like that's when it's like, okay, I knew what he was on. So if he was here
Yeah.
mentally, it was only gonna take us a amount of time to see it.
Yeah,
I think
he
it was just all about visibility with Nipsey. Once
Yeah.
everybody could see it, that's when it would happen. But unfortunately, we only see it now because you passed away.
Yeah. I think that, man, it's really tragic because it's like, I mean, because again, like being on DJ Khaled's album with everything like that, it's like he was setting himself up to be in that position. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
But I don't see anybody right now taking it over like that.
No, I mean,
But
Meek,
I
like,
hope
but
to see
like,
it.
I think
We see it in Meek, we see it in
Yeah.
Cole, we see it in people, and we just hope that they continue on the trajectory they're on.
for
but
sure.
I just can't say for sure like this guy. I can just say he looks like it, but I can't say anybody right
Yeah,
now.
because that's the thing. It takes a lot. I mean, it takes a lot of consistency, a lot of growing, a lot of building, a lot of, you know what I'm saying? It's like when we're talking about like wealth, not like money, but like wealth.
Right.
Like that takes time. Period.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It takes time.
So it's like that's not, especially if you're coming from a place where you're not, getting any of that from family or like generationally or stuff like that. It's like, if you're just like on your own from nothing, it's like that shit takes time.
Yeah.
Just like it can't not take time.
Right.
So yeah, I'm interested to see, man. I mean, I think it's it's really good. You know, I mean, Jay-Z's really, I think, inspiring. And I think hopefully, you know, this is just more inspiration for the rest of us to, you know, get out there and get it.
Yep.
For sure, man.
Well,
I think that's it.
I think that was great, guys. We're at the Simply Podcast.
Yep.
Create, innovate, motivate. We out.
Boom.
Create, innovate, motivate, create.